Hello and welcome to This Is Tech. It's gotten really boring.
Matt, this is nothing but a cry for help and an excuse for this to be a therapy session.
I feel like I should get the couch out. You should get a little notepad.
I'll be here writing notes. I'm like, yes. And how does it make you feel? It stems from childhood.
Kind of. I feel like things were cooler back then.
Nope, you were just dumb.
Lately, tech has been what I'm gonna call disappointing and boring and lame and amazing. I'm not about to go and say like, all these AI pins are cool and whatnot. They just got no response to it. And I'm not even just gonna throw this on the AI pin. All of the unique pieces of tech that have come out in the last like 5 years, almost all of them could be summed up with, why wasn't this an app? And the problem is not that these things are dumb or bad. I mean, they are kind of dumb, but phones are pretty much perfect the way they are.
So can I posit a theory for you?
Yeah.
People over the last decade, 15 years, whatever you want to call it, have really decided that the smartphone is an integral part of your life. If you look at the worldwide population, odds are more people have smartphones than don't by a long shot. Not only have smartphones taken over as your portable computer, for a lot of people, smartphones are your only computer. For as much as we give crap for social media, blah, 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 phones are magical wonder slabs that live in your pocket, allow you to communicate.
You have infinite knowledge in the palm of your hand, literally.
Terrific. But with any sort of phenomenon, there's always going to be a counter to that. And I think that for 99 people who are really happy with their phones, there's going to be a 1% or 5%, whatever the case is, who want something different. Whether you want the ability to use a more limited experience or whether you just want a little bit of novelty in your life. And I think that's where you get things such as the Palm phone. And I know that some people try to do this to maybe a little bit more of an extreme angle of like literally taking like a flip phone or something that you can still, you know, call your mom or whatever, find what's going on. But like ultimately you're much more disconnected. I'm not going to check Twitter. I'm not going to be on watching the This Is channel, which, you know, This Is channel should be running 24/7. So like I understand that as a concept. I have no problem with it. There's advantages to a little bit more of a limited experience, but I'll be honest with you, smartphones are really good. Most people are pretty happy with them. The phone has been kind of figured out for, I would say 5, 6, 7 years now at this point.
But like that's boring. And it's hard to like get excited about that. You look at like 90s tech of just like, you know what? Everything's gonna be see-through and neon. As all like the sharp edges of what made things cool got shaved off to fit into, you know, like these perfect bubbles of what's gonna fit that 99% of people.
It's like cars. You drive down the street, 99% of the time, you're gonna see white, silver, black, maybe a red car every once in a while. Ultimately, when it comes to phones, phones are a couple slabs of glass, a metal band around the side. That's the design that has worked. And every time someone has tried to deviate from that, it has pretty much failed, except when Samsung invented the folding phone and you know, revolutionized the universe. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Are you trying to take the next step with your side hustle? Do you want to promote your business? We can do that with a gorgeous website directly from Squarespace.
Whether you're a content creator, a small business, or you just want to build a curated directory of your favorite common writer cats, Squarespace has got you covered.
Not sure where to start? No worries. You can browse Squarespace's vast assortment of flexible templates. You'll find one that works for whatever you do. No need for arcane knowledge of CSS, some ancient technology that I am very scared of. Instead, you can use Squarespace's fluid engine drag and drop interface, which will make it easy to arrange and style everything you need.
We even made a little page for This Is. With Squarespace's super simple built-in store, we could sell a ton of Kyle action figures, maybe some demon spells that we...
No, don't do that.
No, we shouldn't do that.
Kyle's not allowed to do that anymore.
Hypothetically, we could. But you could actually sell your merch, your content, or even your real time. So what are you waiting for? Check out squarespace.com/thisis to get your 14-day free trial and 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And again, huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
Can I give you an analogy?
Yeah.
So you missed the 90s and the 2000s when the stuff was weird, right? To me, that is a direct correlation with what we used to see in like the 80s with computers. You know, computers had all kinds of weird shapes and sizes and everything.
Because they were literally inventing it as they went along.
But then some clever fella decided to take a laptop and shrink it down and go, oh, wait a minute, this is a really good form factor because you can fold the screen, keyboard, the whole thing. And since the early 90s, the laptop form factor has been evolved, sure, but pretty much the same because, newsflash, the laptop is basically a perfect form factor. It really kind of does everything. And that's the same thing that's happened to the smartphone. Why would someone go through the hassle of buying a less optimal design that's like bigger, chunkier, more annoying, whatever the case is, when the perfect design has been with the slab phone for a number of years? And if you want something different, you go with the folding phone, which is just a slightly different slab phone, but at least has some kind of character to it.
We had this a little bit in the 80s, 90s of like the Walkman, the CD player, the digital point and shoot camera reached its peak, but then we get the phone and 20 devices disappear. And so like that's part of what makes it boring. The only thing that's coming out this year is the new phone.
Almost everything can be an app.
Right. And like, so before it was like, there used to be walls of cameras, there used to be walls of boom boxes. TV has been the same form factor for about 20 years now. Really, the only thing that we got from that was LG with the transparent and the rollable, but like, you can't just go to Best Buy and buy that. It's hard to get excited about tech anymore. Every company comes out, I mean, Apple's probably the worst about it, when they're like, this is 4 times faster than last year's model. But when you're talking about 4 times a fraction of a second, like, I don't care.
What was the last time, Matt? If I can be so...
Surface Duo.
Okay. A famously flawed device in many ways, but also unique.
That's not entirely true. Like, so I'm excited about handheld.
Steam Deck, RG Ally, that kind of
thing.
I'm
excited about those, but I think that I think it's in its final, like, main form. I use the Legion Go a lot, and I like that, but like, it's just a new shape of a PC. That's why you have these companies like... Humane, yeah, I couldn't... Dumb, I don't remember it. They're trying to reinvent the wheel to be able to break into the space, because like, how do you just break into the market now to make a phone against iPhone and Samsung? LG can't survive making a phone. What does a startup have?
I totally hear you. The tech can feel very incremental. But so the last time you got excited, short of the game PCs, was the Surface Duo. Can you describe to me why the Surface Duo excited you?
The 2 screens was legitimately a game changer for me of like, I'm playing games while watching something. I was able to like, oh, you know, I don't have to be on the couch or at a desk to be playing games. I could just
play on one screen, watch videos on the other.
People would be like, oh, well, there's already like the Z Fold and whatnot. I liked how thin that was.
I agree with that.
And like that, like the hardware on it was like top notch. Yeah. And I personally really liked that it was separate screens. Like that felt futuristic.
It does, yeah.
When's the last time you got excited?
It's a good question. I feel like I'm still, even though it's been like 15 years of making videos, I still get excited pretty regularly. When we saw the iPad event, you know, I was excited to see what they had. Like, I'm still in the happy little mind space that I'm excited for 4 or 5 pieces of tech a year, right? It's still fresh, it still feels new. But here's the thing, I get excited for the iterative updates. I get excited for a new Z Flip, even though it might be a different color and like 20% more performance or better camera.
I think the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is Snapdragon XE. That is, I think, the closest thing I'm having of like, this could be a legitimate game changer. Like, I like kind of got excited for the Humane pin, and I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm like, dude, this is literally the communicator. I feel like with some of these things, we're trying to sprint before we walk. I keep saying they're trying to reinvent the wheel.
Trying something new. There's nothing wrong with companies trying new things. You know, to your point about, you know, not being excited about iterative updates. I think that even though you can point to some examples, such as the Vision, such as Humane, such as Rabbit, that are maybe not the most successful at what they're trying to do at first glance, but I do think that everyone who is interested in technology has to give some props to someone who tries something new, even if it's half-baked, even if it's not done, if it's too expensive. Like, it's a good thing that these things exist in the world, and maybe this first version is not for you, but maybe a couple years down the line, someone else picks up the mantle and sort of tries to take that to another level. Would it make you excited if Vision Pro was cheaper and better? Would would it make you more excited if Google bring out the Pixel Humane pen in 3 years that is basically everything that they promised except actually works?
But they still don't do anything that the phone that's already in your pocket can't do. I don't see a scenario where a company like Humane makes the product that they want.
No,
like,
it'll be someone else.
It'll be Apple, it'll be Samsung, who ends up making.
I think also most of these trying new things we've seen recently are all kind of buzzword based.
Yeah,
like last year or the year before, it was like NFT metaverse, and that blew up.
Right.
And then now it's AI. We're trying to throw AI into everything that it'll possibly fit in.
But like, everything that they're trying new is not a new thing. With those buzzword things, it's just like, oh, cryptocurrency. It's money, but different. Metaverse, it's just VR but different. Have we as a society run out of ideas for tech? We had VR back in the 90s.
Well, Virtual Boy.
Tron, we're 30 years into VR
Takes a while.
and we still have the same conversation.
No, but here's the thing. If we were having this conversation 5 years ago, it's like, oh, VR is never going to happen. They keep trying and failing, trying and failing. But now that we're here in 2024, you've got headsets like the Quest 3, the Vision Pro. These are all devices that have their own niche. And now that we've gotten to this point where it's not like this sort of theoretical thing, it's just a matter of letting them bake a little bit more and come down a little bit more in price. You can see a scenario in which another 3, 4, 5 years from now, you've got Vision style quality with better software and better performance that's going to be $300, $400, $500. We're 70% down that path. So that's just sort of why I understand your hesitation to be excited about this kind of stuff. Even though when you look year over year at this kind of stuff, it might seem a little bit boring. Take just a little step back and think about where we were 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, whatever the case is. It's the exact same thing as your Surface. Your Surface Duo sucked. It was cool. It had some stuff going, but it was massively flawed.
But it legitimately let you change something out the box.
And everything has to start somewhere. V1 is not always the right thing. I understand that, again, it feels like everything just is very iterative, but we're seeing a surprising amount of new categories.
I don't classify those as new categories. The Vision is just a, at the moment, worse computer. When I talk about a new category, I want like this stuff to be brought to the things. I want tech to like actually show up to like make your life better and not just be a gimmick that
Perfect segue to the tech that is coming in 2024, which is AI. Now, I'm sure you're tired of hearing about everyone talking about AI. Well, buckle up, because it's not going away anytime soon. 2024 is the year that AI is propagating across all the devices that you already own. And this is not just like, oh, I've got freaking Siri or I've got like ChatGPT. We're talking about AI that actually runs locally on your device. So we're filming this before Apple's WWDC, but imagine when they turn on Siri 2.0 powered by AI that can actually look at the health information that you've got in your phone and your watch and everything that feeds in there. What happens when an AI is actually parsing that data and proactively coming to you say, hey, you know what? You didn't just fill your rings. You did a great job of climbing 3 extra steps of stairs today. Or hey, you know what? Your heart rate over the last week and a half has been trending a little bit higher. Did you eat some bad macaroons? That's just one small example of the things that are going to be built into our devices that we already have. And I think that if the iterative, boring stuff doesn't excite you, if the new product categories don't excite you, the fact that your devices are just about to get so much smarter should, because it's like the leap between when we were on command line interfaces and everything was that freaking terminal, and then we got the GUI and suddenly you had a mouse and stuff. Well, imagine then when an AI can help literally drive your computer for you. Like, imagine if we could take this video and someone who's never edited a video in their life, they could drop it into the AI powered version of CapCut or the Windows powered version, or whatever the case is, and just say, hey, cut out all the pauses. Okay, cool. Now switch between the angles as Matt and Austin saw. I know that that sounds kind of like this future sort of vision. With the AI tech that exists basically right now, this is possible. I feel like we're gonna see some demos like this year. That doesn't get you excited?
No, because it's taking the fun things away. What I want AI to be doing is I want to integrate AI into my refrigerator. I want an AI assistant that frees up my life.
Okay, so think about this. Odds are you, dear viewer who are watching this video, on your way to work this morning or school or whatever the case is, probably before you got in the car or the bus or whatever, you probably had a little notification saying, hey, there's a lot of traffic today. It's gonna be 15 extra minutes. That's a version of AI, an assistant to tell you, hey, this is what's going on. If you think about AI as like your little assistant who operates your computer or your phone for you, if you just think about it like that for a second, imagine your AI is literally a little dude in there. Obviously, you can hop in and do whatever you want, but like, imagine the mundane nonsense of having to do all the basic work of stuff that's super repetitive and boring or whatever, when you can have essentially a really smart assistant to do it for you, as if it was an actual person.
But like in your world, it's just stuck to the main categories, which is a laptop, a phone.
Why do you think Samsung put Wi-Fi and all the things? Like, they're gonna have a freaking refrigerator and a washer or whatever that are connected. When you talk to Bixby, it'll be able to turn on your washer, or it'll already know, oh, hey, you're on the way home. I'm gonna get this thing going for you. Obviously, you can automate them today, but it's a very labor-intensive task. You gotta go
right, and that's the reason why it currently doesn't excite me. I have a whole bunch of Philips Hue lights. Like, I have that ecosystem. I invested in it. I don't want to get rid of them. That was a lot of money I spent on it.
Imagine if Siri can literally open the app and go boop, 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 find where the button is, is the toggle and move it. Like, that's what I'm talking about, what AI could actually do. It's not just like an API.
I could hire a butler to go do that too.
Or you could just tell Siri to do it. These are the kind of things that are coming, my friends.
Also security nightmare, and that's not gonna get better.
I do agree. The security part is a little bit, but if it's running on device, that helps a little bit.
I'd rather hire a butler to do that, because then at least, like, if he sees something he can't see, I can take him out back and let us know what you think about tech.
Tell Siri to
in
forget.
2024 or 5, whatever year it is. Like, follow, subscribe. Let us know what you think is cool or boring.
The future's coming, my friend.
It's coming fast.
It's coming. And be ready for it.
It's gonna be all over the place.
I'm gonna turn it on all my things. And I'm gonna have it
automated.
It's
gonna be a huge mess.